Very well.
I can hear.
But is it still humming?
It was, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
We don't see that.
Chili, sorry. Yeah, you used to be good with it. Thanks,
Okay, but what we need is somewhere we can get the car. So you think we'll get
That was the only other thing was to move this to the
I don't want to
right.
hide the
But I didn't want to touch it.
We can move back.
Can we move this to the right?
No, we're right, we'll work around it. We're going to turn the trolley around. Well, yeah, we're going to turn it around. So we can stay in. Get the wrong.
Anyway, I passed on the message.
Oh, I see. So what I do, we'll bring it and turn around so the feet like that. Yeah, no, I just put it around the spot. That's just what I'm looking at. Thank you.
You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to touch without steering
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We have come together to support Pete's family, or as everyone knows him, Gracie, to say our goodbyes. He truly touched countless lives and will be deeply missed. What an honour it was to see you all bringing him in today. I am a retailer and I am very honoured but very sad to be conducting this service today. Having grown up in Te Araha myself, I have had the privilege of knowing the Mangin family for as long as I've been alive. That's a very long time. I'm very, not as long as Spider. I am very aware that this last week has been a very tough time for the family in so many ways. Sorry. And no words today will take away their sadness. But I know that we will farewell Gracie in the very best way that we can. Before we begin, a few housekeeping rules. This is a working fire station, so if the siren does happen to go off during the service, there's a crew here that will take care of things and we'll just carry on. The toilets are to the far left of the bar. The fire exits are behind me, to the left of this room and out the doors. The assembly point is across the road, here by the fire engines. The smoking and vaping area for later on is in the garden bar behind me. And if you haven't done so already, could you please put your phones on silent? I would like to acknowledge Gracie's family. He is a dearly loved father of Sarah, Richard, Rebecca and David. Wonderful father-in-law to Tim, Stephanie, James and Evelyn. Adored Grandad Pete. To Dan, Tyler, Ashley, Darcy, Corbin, Brianna, Sadie, Heidi, Bonnie, Brodie, Eli and Miles. A very much loved brother to Spider, brother-in-law to Karen, loved uncle and respected by his extended family members. A treasured friend to Jocelyn, Lorraine, Ossian, Mace and families. Joining us here today are many members of the Te Araha Fire Brigade and the Whitianga Fire Brigade, members from outlying fens stations, guest speakers, former and present Power Board colleagues, Downer worker colleagues, friends, associates, and those watching via live stream. On behalf of Gracie's family, I would like to acknowledge the fire personnel and their families that were here last Friday night to assist when Gracie had his suffered a cardiac arrest. The Whitianga Fire Brigade team, Whitianga St John's, the police officers who attended, and to everyone else who has reached out to the family over this time. Your support has just been amazing and they're so thankful. Many people knew Gracie, and sorry, I'm going to start that again. Gracie had many friends and knew countless people, just as countless people knew him. A lot of people cared about him, and a lot of people will miss having him in their lives. When I sat down the other day with the family, we talked about how best to honour Gracie's life today, and we agreed that I would cover his life beyond the Fire Brigade and the Power Board, as we have other speakers to do that. We laughed, we cried, and in the end, every single story shared seemed to go back to the station or his Power Board days. Gracie, he loved his family fiercely and was always there for them. But what we did know, and what the family knew, was that the Fire Brigade and the Power Board, as well obviously as family, they were one. They were all part of the family. You didn't have to be blood to be family. How do you sum up a life as full as Grassy's? It's a difficult task, but between the wonderful tributes that have already been shared on Facebook, through the Tiaraha and Whitianga brigades, the write-up in the local paper, and the tributes to follow today, we will certainly give it a try. Grassy was born on September the 5th, 1954, to Eric and Nyla Mangin. He was a little brother to Spider, and as Spider told me, he was the best brother he's ever had. Pete would have turned 71 yesterday, excuse me, and I know that the family honoured that. I know that they went for a walk on the beach, they collected shells, and I'm sure they sat down and reminisced. Grassy was easygoing. He was generous. He was dependable. He always had your back, and he always had that smile on his face. He attended Tiaraha Primary School and Tiaraha College. And in 1973, at the youthful age of 17, he left to join the Thames Valley Electric Fire Brigade as a cable joiner. It's funny that I was coming in today, and I too worked at the Power Board at some stage, and I do recall, it was really raining when I was coming in, and I do recall that I was told that if we had a fault come in, that no matter what happened, unless it was blowing a howling gale, those boys went out. And I thought about that today, and I also thought about you fire people. It doesn't matter what the weather is, you're still going to do what you have to do. The power industry was a big part of his life, and his service also extended 50 years. It was around this time that he joined the Tiaraha Fire Brigade, and this is where he earned his name, Grasshopper. This came about one day when he was training for the Waterways team competitions. Apparently when he ran, or Spider tells me, when he ran, he used to lift his knees right up high like a grasshopper. And Terry Gray said to him at the time, "Hey mate, you look like a grasshopper." So the name stuck. Along the way, it got shortened to Grassy. He was a member of the Waiha rugby team, or the rugby club I should say, and he played many games for them. After retiring from club rugby, he joined the Tiaraha Mountain Men, or the Golden Oldies. He enjoyed playing rugby, but his injuries were becoming far too frequent, so he decided he'd better give up. His first ever overseas trip was with the rugby club, and they went to Thailand and Singapore. He was the rookie at 18, with the oldest member on the trip as a supporter was 72. Spider said they had a ball. Grassy loved a good game of rugby, so much so that he became an avid sideline ref. And from the words taken from Lisa in her lovely article, by the end of the game, he often ended up standing on his own because of his second reffing got a little intense, and he was very passionate to say the least. It became a running joke about who was brave enough to sit next door to him during the game, and I did hear Spider say the other day that even he wouldn't. Pete and Jocelyn and their kids lived in Tiaraha at number 2 Gallagher Street, the end of a little cul-de-sac. It was an open door policy at the Mangin household, and I'm sure that we will hear that later from Mike. Family was very important to him. He loved his kids, and he was very proud of them and their achievements. He was often seen at school events, on the sideline, and other activities in which the children were involved. There was always talk about moving to Whitianga, but it was agreed that that would happen when the children grew up. Grassy achieved that dream, and he moved to Whitianga in 2006. It was in Whitianga that he met Lorraine, and together they built their home in Hay Esplanade, where they were still living. He loved his fishing. He talked a lot about fishing, but most of the time he never made it. However, he did go fishing in the Fire Brigade tournaments, and 3 years ago, on their way up to Russell, he caught his first marlin. He was so stoked. He loved a lot, and he also disliked a lot. He loved Holdens, but sorry guys, he disliked Fords. So sorry James and Paul and other Ford owners out there, I'm sure you know that that was it. In 1974, both Gracie and Spider bought Holden HQ Kingswoods. These cars that they bought were part of the fleet used as the official cars for the 1974 Commonwealth Games held in Christchurch. GM Holden New Zealand built 186 of these special edition cars for this event. They featured distinctive white paint, blue and red stripes, a 253 V8 engine and other upgrades. And I believe there's a photo of the car just over here behind you. Spider. Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
That's one of them.
Probably is.
Yeah, okay. So as you would imagine, in the little old town of Tiaraha, everyone knew when the Mangin boys were out, because I tell you what, those cars were pretty flash in Tiaraha back in those days, believe you me. And they are Holden boys still through and through, because I know they both own a Holden. Pete, however, did sell his Holden to pay the deposit on the family home in Tiaraha. He loved to collect memorabilia, anything Fire Brigade. His home is a testament to that. He also collected overalls. He had a pair of overalls from every Powerball that he worked for. And believe me, over that time, one moment, believe me, over that time, there were a few changes of names. So you can only imagine the stack of overalls that he has at home. They're probably about that high. He was habitual in his routine. Work during the week, fire training on a Wednesday night. He loved Friday night drinkings at the station, both Tiaraha and Whitianga, where most of the time he would have the bar open at 5 o'clock. Waikato was his preferred beverage. Barbecued breakfasts on the deck at home, overlooking the beautiful vista down the waterways. Sunday night at the Gamefish Club, standing at his favourite bar Lena with Spider and whoever else was around to join them, talking proudly of his children and his grandchildren's achievements and anything else that was on the menu that day, hoping that his corned beef would be cooked when he got home. Rebecca worked there for a time, and so she would join him when she wasn't required on the bar. He loved going on tiki tours, driving kilometres for no particular reason. The kids remember this well. He loved music. He had a very eclectic range of music. And as Spider mentioned, when you're driving around in the Powerball truck for days on end and hours on end, what more do you do but listen to music? But however, the news, excuse me, the news that come on every hour or half an hour was a very inconvenient part of the day because it just repeated itself. He had a dislike for technology and he couldn't get to grips with it. Got frustrated trying to sort it out. Hated council rates. And I tell you what, who doesn't? One-lane bridges, especially the Tairua Bridge, waste of time. And as I've mentioned, Fords. He was very much looking forward to slowing down in the work department, his upcoming trip to Dunedin and returning to Rarotonga for a holiday. He loved his waterways, Brigade waterways competitions, as well as the road crash rescue. Life did excite him. Pete Gracie Mangin's life was a testament to his profound loyalty, his humour and heart. He was a man whose dedication to his family and the Fire Brigade created a lasting legacy that will never be forgotten. As his boots may be empty, the space he filled in our lives will never be. We now move on to tributes. Our first speaker today is Megan Stifler, the Deputy National Commander, Fire and Emergency New Zealand.
Good morning. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. There is no greater honour than to stand before you, even on a dark day like this, than to celebrate a firefighter's service. We gather today to honour the life and service of Peter Gracie Mangin, service number 930193, a man whose dedication to his community and his brigade spanned more than half a century. For nearly 52 years, he stood as a volunteer firefighter, answering the call, protecting lives, and serving with courage, humility, and heart. Gracie started his service in Tiaroha on the 14th of December 1973 and served there until he moved to Whitianga in 2006. Gracie was awarded his Long Service Good Conduct Medal in 1987, receiving his 5th class for 49 years in 2023. He received his Gold Star in 1998 and went on to receive the prestigious 50-year medal with his brother Spider in 2024. And I think that was the first time we ever awarded brothers the Gold Star at the same time. What a great memory. To serve for that length of time is remarkable, but it wasn't just the years that mattered, it was the way he served. I hear stories that he was there time and time again when his community needed him the most. He gave not only his time but his energy, his skills, and shared his knowledge with others. His commitment went far beyond duty, and it was a way of life. Service for Gracie was also about family. His brother Spider, his sons David and Richard, and his son-in-law James, who stand alongside us today in the Brigade, carrying on that same proud tradition. Together, they have embodied what it means to be part of something bigger than ourselves: whānau, service and community. To the wider family, we acknowledge the sacrifices you have made, supporting the decades and sharing Gracie with us. They were long, countless call-outs, late nights and long days, and his service was made possible because of your love, strength and support. Today we honour you as well. We also acknowledge the Brigade, who stood by Peter, or Gracie, just in service but in his final moments. Your actions reflect the highest values of our calling, and we honour you for that. He leaves an extraordinary legacy, one of service, of leadership, of deep connection to community and whānau. He has set a standard for us all. That true greatness lies not in recognition of rank, but in showing up year after year with dedication and heart. Though we grieve his passing, we also give thanks. Thanks for the 42 years of service. Thanks for the friendships, the laughter, the wisdom, and the quiet strength that he brought to our lives. His memory will remain with us in the Brigade he helped shape and in the community he so faithfully served. Rest easy, Gracie. We'll take it from here.
Thank you, Megan. I now call on Mike Harris. He's a family friend and also going to be speaking on behalf of the Tiaroha Fire Brigade.
Good morning all. My name is Mike Harris from the Tiaroha Fire Brigade. Peter Gracie first started as a fireman in Tiaroha on the 14th of 12th 1973. I know it's already been mentioned, at the age of 19. He completed a total of 32 years service in the Tiaroha And in that time, he rose through the ranks as fireman, then station officer, third officer, and finished up as deputy fire chief. From his early start, he was a very keen waterway competition team member, full man in those times. He competed in the Goldfields competition, Central North Island, Auckland Provincial and National competitions. The highlight of his track running career was winning the Auckland Provincial A-Team Championships at Tokoroa, who were also the winners of the Goldfields Sub-Association 4-day event in 1988, along with the team members, the late Jack Vernon, coach, the late Terry Gray, Ross Hall and myself, and Peter of course. Just as a footnote on that, at the presentation night of that evening, the late Merv George Whitianga was called away as his wife was about to give birth to their second child, Brigade. And we can thank Whitianga heaps, because if it wasn't for them winning, we think it was the H11, and they got first place, which bumped out the placings between Tokoroa, and hence Tiara won. So thanks Whitianga again. Grassy was a Goldfields executive from 1993 to 1997 and president of 1995 to 1996, and had continued on as a track judge for the Goldfields Waterways ever since. If Tiny here, I hope I got those dates right. Grassy left Tiara Fire Brigade in 2007 and transferred to Whitianga. Now, on a more personal note, I have known Grassy for 64 years. We went through primary school, secondary school together, and back in the 70s, as we were young adults, we were members of the Athens Club, short for Association of Federated Fools, Idiots and Nincompoops Society, a club which Grassy had started up alongside the late Lester Hale, Manu Lala, Ross Jackson, Bill Page, not just to mention a few. A club which provided wild entertainment, motorbike excursion, lots of socialising, and a great big green bus to use for the transporting us all on the weekends. The club eventually came to an end when everyone decided to go their own way, like marriage and family. Shelley and I bought our first house in Farmer Street, Tiara, in 1979, and about a year later, Peter and Jocelyn Mangin bought the house in Gallagher Street, which was virtually across the road. So our houses were joined together. And we became neighbours and good friends. Then, as the family started to grow, first came Sarah, Richard, Rebecca and David. We had two boys, Matthew and Jason, in between Peter and Jocelyn's four, but I couldn't keep up. Both families grew up together. They were all very close. Once they had all grown up, all went on their own directions and have kept in contact with each other ever since, and a credit to Peter and Jocelyn for their upbringing. Moving on, Grassy encouraged me to join the Tiara Fire Brigade back in 1981. And I remember on night calls, I would sometimes get a ride with Grassy in his Holden HQ to the fire station. Interesting trip. On occasions, I would have to sit in the back seat as Bo, the Mangin's dog, had the front seat. And believe me, when we pulled up at the station and there was Grassy and the dog driving, and I got out the back. Life throws us hardships and curveballs and makes us better for who we are today. Both our sons, Matthew and Jason, have followed in my footsteps and joined the Te Aroha Fire Brigade alongside Richard. David, who followed in Pete's footsteps, also joined the Te Aroha Fire Brigade. David is now Fire Chief. Gracie, you may have gone, but you will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, my friend. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to tell you this, but I've got a small footnote, and please don't let it go any further than this room. We were fortunate enough, Gracie and I, to get invited to the National Waterways in February with David and Jason and Sandra. Anyway, it was a great time. And by the way, the boys won the Nationals, the shooting was better. Anyway, we got the Queenstown and we were booked in for a palatial spa. Now, I thought, oh, just a spa pool. But anyway, so we got our togs out, got it packed. Anyway, we arrived at the Queenstown spa pool complex. I can't remember what the name was down, but it was flash. Like, anyway, we go inside, there's quiet music, low lit lights, and everyone else went their own ways. And Gracie and I got escorted by a male attendant, which I think he thought were a couple. Anyway, we got into the spa room and all lightly dipped with candles burning, with light refreshments, all laid out, drinks. It was awesome. Anyway, I heard, oh shit, what's wrong, mate? He said, I've forgotten my tongs. Well, I said, I don't feel very comfortable about getting into a spa with a naked man. But if I was going to have a spa with a naked man, you were the one, mate. Anyway, so I turned my back. Anyway, he proceeded into the spa. Then I decided I'll get in. Anyway, we're in there and I said, yes, we've got cold beers, we've got everything here. And I said, yeah, I was watching a program last week on the breakfast show on a Polynesian spas in Rotorua. And I think they had that Matt Gibb. Anyway, he gets into the pool and he putting this facial stuff on with cucumber rings. Anyway, I said to Gracie, I've even got the facial cream here, but no cucumbers. So anyway, proceeded to put it on the face, and he said, I didn't have my glasses on, and he said, you reckon that's cream? And I said, well, that's what it looks like. Anyway, he swam over to the side, but I was on the other side. And by the way, this pool opened up into the stars and the mountains. It was really amazing. Anyway, he said, I think you got the chip dip. So, anyway, I tell you what, we just about brought the place down. And I remember the boys saying, oh, what's that noise? What were you guys doing in there? I'll tell you what, but look, don't take it any further than it's rude. But Pete, if I was going to do it, I'm pleased I did it with you. Okay, so farewell, my old friend. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mike. I don't think it'll go any further. You might get chipped up for Christmas though. I now invite Rolly Cheney, who is the Chief Fire Officer from the Whitianga Fire Brigade, to come forward, please.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Mike, you stole my story. But well done. Senior Firefighter Peter Wayne Mangin, Grassy. What a true gentleman. You cannot get a more caring person in this world. It is such a shock to all that you are gone. I got my figures a bit different than Mike. Grassy served 33 years in Tiara and 19 in Whiti, totalling 52. But then I failed maths. Grassy held the rank of Deputy Chief Fire Officer in Tiara and was a senior firefighter with us at Whitianga. Grassy, you have been a mentor to many in both brigades and were a huge asset to have in both brigades, showing up to all training nights and still turning out to calls, driving our second appliance only 3 hours before your passing. You also passed on your skills and knowledge to all the younger members of the brigade. You were looked up to by all in the brigade and you were a tireless worker at any event the brigade did. Grassy was a waterways competitor for 30 years. I think that's a bit different than you two, Mike. Ultimate Winchell winner in 1988, as we've heard, for Tiara, and still out on the track keen to judge for another upcoming waterway season. This alone shows his dedication to the sport. Winning the Gold Star Cup at the 2002 Auckland Winchell at Edgecombe, being drawn to compete with his brother Spider. I know this is a proud moment for him. Grassy was so proud to attend the New Zealand Waterway Nationals this year with Mike and be present to witness their sons David and Jason win the New Zealand National two-person competition. I'll skip that story, it's been said. But it was a nice dip. Grassy served as sub-association as well, serving on the executive of the Thames Valley Goldfields in 1996 and receiving life honorary membership. Also serving on the executive of the Central North Island and receiving life honorary membership. Grassy both competed and judged for both of these sub-associations and also the Auckland Winchell. As been said, Grassy received his 25-year Gold Star while serving in the Tiara Brigade in 1998, also receiving life honorary membership. Only last year, Grassy and Spider were presented with their 50-year medals together, a first in NZ for two brothers, and Grassy received life honorary membership to the Whitianga Volunteer Fire Brigade. To receive 4 life memberships in your career is simply outstanding and just shows the sort of person you were. Grassy also competed for 12 years in road crash rescue, Auckland Winchell winner in 2007 and 2013. Not many people can boast that they have won a provincial medal in both waterways and road crash competitions. Grassy could. A rare achievement indeed. Unfortunately, a national title never came his way. Becoming second in many New Zealand's nationals for so many years is a great effort. You competed with your brother Spider at the World event in Cape Town, South Africa in 2018, as a medic of all things. And he was now coaching the team alongside his brother Spider. Grassy loved to go away on our annual game fishing trips to the Bay of Islands, and he tagged and released his first striped marlin on one of these trips. He loved being out in the ocean with his brother and the crew. As we all know, Fire Brigade is one big family. Because of yourself and Spider, both the Tiara and Whitianga Brigades have a very special bond. I know Grassy was very proud to have his 2 sons in the Fire Brigade as well, David as Chief Fire Officer and Richard as a Senior Firefighter. From the Tiara Brigade where Grassy started his Fire Brigade career. Daughter Rebecca is now also married to James, a Senior Firefighter from our brigade. We all thought Grassy was invincible, especially after receiving the 11,000 volt shock he gave himself a few years ago by putting an earth pin through a live 11,000 volt underground cable. The rugby referees and bean counters of this world are probably having a big sigh of relief about now, as we all know how much Grassy loves to watch the rugby, and hated any company's financial bill. On a personal note, I worked on the Powerball with you, live with you. Sorry. When we both worked away at Panama for a few years, competed in waterways and road race trips with you, been on countless game fishing trips with you. Your friendship is something I'll always cherish. No, need something. We know you'll be up there with Max and Merv, having a quiet laugh at us now. Spider and Karen, Lorraine, Mace, Ossian, Jocelyn, Richard and Steph, Darcy, Corbin, Brianna, Sarah and Tim, Dave and Ev, Rhodey, Eli, Miles, Rebecca and James, Sadie, Heidi and Bonnie. We thank you so much for sharing this great man with us. We can all say hand in our hearts, we are all proud and privileged to have known you, worked, trained and played alongside you, and to call you our friend. Gracie, you left us in a place you loved, doing what you loved, surrounded by people that loved you, your family, and Brigade family. It must be an arm. The call the station received for you was call number 111 for us for the year. As we celebrate your life today, be now with Eric and Nyla looking down proudly on your family left behind. Gracie, your watch is complete. The Brigade has it from here. Rest easy, brother. Just got one more thing to do. In our Brigade we have the Munner Award. It's the most highly prestigious trophy we have in this fire brigade. It's not given out lightly. Previous names on it: Spider Mangin, Merv George, Morris Muir. It doesn't get given out every year. And after your passing, Gracie, we have your name on it. A lot of presents, Rebecca, thank you.
Thank you, Roland. I now invite Lisa Whiteman to come forward. Lisa is a senior firefighter here in the Whitianga Fire Brigade.
To know Gracie was to know loyalty, humour and heart. We lost not just a firefighter of 50 years, but a brother, a mentor, a mate, and for so many of us, family. A lifetime of courage, commitment and stories that could make you either laugh until your sides hurt or bring tears to your eyes. He was always teaching, always guiding, always passing on what he knew. You'd find him right in the middle of truck checks, showing the new ones the ropes, dropping little tricks of the trade, making sure everyone lifted their game. He asked a lot of you. Turn up, train hard, give it your best. And he gave that back every single time. If you skipped trainings, only rocked up on the easy day calls, slacked off on the checks, he'd let you know about it. With Gracie, you were either all in or you weren't in at all, and he lived that through and through. Some of my old bank memories go back to the Te Araha station, before I was even officially in the brigade. I was just a young one tagging along, joining on the late Friday night drinks that always rolled on. We'd start at the station and end up at his place over the creek, raiding his freezer, because he always made sure there were plenty of pies waiting to be nuked in the microwave. That was Grassy, fun and so bloody generous. To me, he was more than a firefighter. I feel I'm lucky to have had both worlds. He was a mentor, my locker buddy, a Red Watch member, but also a mate, and I seen him as part of my chosen family. I grew up knee-high to that grasshopper in the Te Aroha station, running around with his kids as one of the fire brats. We were lucky and so blessed to be raised in that extended fire family. I think that helped mould us and gave us our passion for where we stand now, serving beside him. I have so many fond and funny memories of growing up in that station, like hanging under the pool table or crashing down those stairs on blankets like a bobsled. Years later, life brought us both to Whitianga, and this time I wasn't just tagging along as George's daughter, I was in it, serving beside him. My 8-year-old self, who dreamed of being a firefighter and running waterways like my dad and the older Te Aroha crew, was finally living that dream. And to have Grassy alongside me for that part of the journey, it meant everything. I mean, that man was a legend on the track. How could you not look up to him for guidance and tricks to be a better competitor? Grassy had the biggest heart. He was stoic and steadfast, deeply caring for his people, respected by all, and loved by many. He's one of the few people I could break down in front of and never feel judged, just supported. With my parents living far away, he became that sturdy father figure, checking in, seeing me straight through that smile I pasted on some days. He'd be standing at the door of that station at trainings, being one of the first faces hanging about, and he'd always be able to crack you into smiling, even if you weren't feeling it. That kind of loyalty and care is rare. And of course, there was his humour, a real Waikato man, always with his drink of choice at hand. I don't take shit from anyone, never have, but Grassy, he was one of those people who could break through that hard exterior of mine. He just knew. He'd give me stick, call me out, and somehow I'd let him because he always nailed it. And somehow, without even trying, he'd have me laughing at myself, grinning along with him and wondering, how the hell did he just do that? That was Grassy's way. Clever, cheeky, unstoppable, and always in good favour, never failing to make you laugh. 50 years of service is rare, but Grassy's true legacy isn't measured in his medals, drills or call-outs. His legacy is in the firefighters who stand beside him, the family he loves so dearly, the friends who still hear his voice when training, and that laughter that will echo whenever someone strums an imaginary guitar with their leg. He is and will always be one of the treasures of our lives in every sense of the word. This brigade life has always been in my bloodline, my papa, my dad. It's given me not just fire, but extended, chosen family. And that comes with laughter and heartbreak and everything in between. And you, Grassy, are one of the best of that extended family. From Te Aroha, where it all began, to Whitianga, where we serve side by side. You can now lay down your duty, Grassy. Red Watch and the rest of the brigade carry you in their hearts, and we will keep answering the call. I'll miss our Friday lunches. I'll miss having with my locker buddy. but more than anything, I'll miss your steady, humble presence of a man whose heart is as big as it was generous and forgiving. Gracie, thank you. Thank you for every lesson, for your guidance, for every microwave pie waiting for us after a long night on the beezy, for all your laughter, every word of wisdom, and every bit of care you gave me. You shape part of me and how I turn up in my uniform. You have shaped all of us in some way. Your heart, your humour, your loyalty, it's woven into everything we do, and we will live on in all of us forever. We'll carry you forward in our hearts, in our work, in our laughter, and in the fire we pass on to the next generation. To his amazing children, Sarah, Richard, Rebecca, and Dave, I want to say thank you for sharing your dad with us. Because of him, our lives are richer, our hearts are fuller, and our memories are brighter. His spirit will live on in all of us. You are loved beyond words, Gracie, and you always will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. That was beautiful. I now ask Grant Mitchell, who is the immediate past president of the Auckland Provincial Fire Brigade Gold Star Association, to come forward.
Global Gold Star holders, please stand. On behalf of the Gold Star Association, I'd like to pass on behalf of the membership and condolences to the family for Gracie. We have gathered today to honour and indeed pay our respect to Gold Star holder Gracie, who has gone before us after serving his community with distinction. Gracie has served tirelessly and indeed with dedication to the duty, and his commitment for serving 24/7 has been second to none. Let us not rest on his achievements, but use them to inspire others, Gold Star personnel, to collectively further aims of fire and emergency New Zealand as they reach out to our communities to assist our loved ones and neighbours in their time of need. Time is the most precious thing in life, and so let us recognise the time that Gracie sacrificed while helping others without seeking reward. Personal recognition during his distinguished service. To all of those who have known and served alongside Gracie, let that experience be an inspiration to us to this day and days that lie ahead, and may his friendship forever in our hearts. May you rest in peace, brother. Thank you.
I now have some tributes from the Downer Group in Ventia, which I will read, and after that I will ask Ben Edwards to come forward. So due to prior commitments, these people can't be here today, unfortunately, but they have asked me to read this out. Now, just a heads up, There is some colourful, excuse me, some colourful language in here. It's an authentic part of what Pete was, and it's been decided that I shall read as it has been written. So please do forgive me, because as I was told, ladies don't swear, but today I will be. On behalf of the Power Board, past and present employees, and those who not could be here today, we would like to acknowledge Grassy's incredible service and commitment to the local communities he has served across his career spanning more than 50 years. Excuse me. He was such an incredible, humble human being who would truly have given the shirt off his back to anyone in need. For someone to have completed over 50 years' service for both the Power Board and the Fire Service shows the measure of the man. He really did dedicate his life to helping others, cut from a different cloth, as they say. His way with words will definitely be sorely missed. Such delicate phrases like, "Who the fuck thought of this? What fucking idiot come up with this? And what the fuck are we doing it like this for?" Needless to say, his contribution to Teams meetings was, let's say, colourful. Our deepest condolences to the Whitianga Fire Brigade, the local community, and most of all, Grassy's family. Our thoughts are with you all, and if there's anything we can do to support you now and in the future, please do not hesitate to reach out. This offer does not expire. We will miss you immensely, Grassy. Thanks for the great times, the comradeship, and most of all, friendship. Rest in peace. The second one is a short one from Michael Cornelius. He is the area manager, Valley, of the Downer Group. I want to sincerely apologise for my inability to be at your father's funeral today. I deeply valued your father's friendship and contributions to our industry. Just 2 weeks ago, we shared a light-hearted moment when he mentioned his plan to work until Christmas before retiring. I jokingly offered to host a barbecue for him if he stayed on until March, and he responded with, "Fuck off, Mike." Those memories will make this loss more upsetting, and I'm truly sorry and I cannot be there to honour him in person. Just letting you know that's all the colourful language. The following tribute is from Steve McKinney. He is the National Compliance Manager, Energies, Networks and Renewables New Zealand. Regrettably, I am unable to make the funeral today due to a prior commitment in Taupo, but I would love to have spoken on behalf of the industry. On a personal note, Grassy was not just a colleague, but a family friend. I have worked alongside him for nearly 20 years in the Coromandel and always knocked around with him in the Fire Brigade waterways competitions over the years. It's the small things I'm going to miss, like simply sitting there having a chat about the rugby, the kids, and anything else that may be going on. My wife and I spent a number of occasions of having a quiet drink at his place. It was a privilege to have called him my friend. I now ask Ben Edwards to come forward, please. Sorry, Ben is a work colleague of Kate's. Sorry, Ben.
It's all right. Just bear with me, I'm just going to read this just to get through. For those of you who don't know me or do not know me, I'm Ben Edwards. Grassy and I have worked together as linemen for over 20 years, on and off again. When I was a trainee up here, he was still in Morrinsville, before he decided it was time to move up here to be closer to Spider. We both shared ties with Tiara. He would tell me stories about my dad and granddad. He had a lot of stories. He was a staunch White House supporter, so I always found great joy in winding him up when Cobras dealt to them, especially after the Dr. Dunn. Somehow that ended up me hearing about the rugby trip that Whitehull had overseas. I've heard that story so many times, I didn't have the heart to tell him. As I saw that, it brought him great joy telling it. So I just sucked it up and I pretended it was the first time he'd told me. Grassy loved the story. Any morning that I went to go pick him up from home, I would put the radio on talkback. By the time we got to work, about 45 minutes later, he would be out the gate. Grassy was easy to wind up. Everyone was a pack of wankers. It didn't matter what topic was being discussed on that radio. 2 Thursdays ago, he left Te Mata, as I did every Thursday. Catch you, Grassy. Have a good weekend, and I'll ring you Sunday if anything changes. On Friday night, I just got home from a fault out the back of Mowai Road. My phone rang. It was Rolly. I thought the fire siren earlier may have involved something to do with power, as I assumed if Rolly is ringing. I saw the fire engine lights going on, and I thought, where you go, Grassy? I'm out working, now you are too. Then Rolly told me what had happened. I was in shock. Those lights I saw earlier were for Grassy. We've heard a lot about Grassy's love for his family and the fire brigade. He never stopped talking about the fire brigade. He loved showing me the app on his phone, telling me who's in town and who's not. Sometimes I heard the siren go off at night and I would ask him, to which he would quickly say, I can't tell you anything, it's still under investigation. Okay, Grassy, I'll wait till Fitty chit-chat then. He still wouldn't budge. He took these things very seriously. We know Grassy in a different aspect of his life, being a lineman, a job that he did to the end. He was great value, and he was fun to work with. You just had to adjust to how he worked, the old boomer way. But boy could he be grumpy. If you weren't working 100%, he was ruthless. It didn't matter who you were, if you were the poor soul up the pole, and he was your groundie, prepared to be abused. HR love people like Grassy. They keep him in a job. Grassy didn't care. He would be yelling at you from the ground, do this, do that, you idiot. I speak from experience. You just took it with a grain of salt. We would usually be cracking up and calling him a bloody boomer and ignore him, which would wound him up even more. And then he would eventually crack a smile. I asked the boys this week if anyone knew how old Grassy was. We knew he was at least 65, as he was getting the pension and enjoying Gold Card Tuesdays. He was one of the boys he was always getting told off, continuing to do lots of physical stuff when the young guys were there and able to do it. But Grassy couldn't help himself. He only needed to drive the truck and operate the hire, but he just couldn't stop getting up the poles. Grassy was old school. When we got new trainees, we got Grassy to go with them, partly for our amusement, but also for all the knowledge and skills he had. Not sure the trainees always appreciated it. As a lineman, especially in the valley, across all depots, we've had some real shitty days, but the fun ones outweigh them. And we've had a lot of days with you, Grassy. It's going to be strange from here on, not hearing your laugh, your words of encouragement, your skinny legs at the golf Christmas do, and that cheeky grin after a whole lot of beers. It's only been a week since we last saw you. It feels like you're on annual leave. It hasn't actually hit yet, that you ain't coming back. going to miss you, my friend. All that being said, we all love that grumpy bugger. I'm really shocked at his passing. He has left a hole in this family. We'll miss his stories, his opinions, and sometimes his wise words every day. To the Mangin whānau, we know you've lost a precious part of your family. Remember the good times and how much he loved you all. And know we are here for you. Share your stories, remember your dad, your granddad, brother. And our friend, thank you.
Thank you, Ben. I now call on Sarah, Richard, Rebecca and David.
Right.
Dad, you were the reason I, Dave, joined the Fire Brigade. Unfortunately, we only served a couple of months together as you had already committed to moving here. You looked forward to selling the house and moving back home to join back up with us boys and to start doing some more travelling. I appreciated the support and mentorship you have provided throughout the last 5 years of my journey with FENS as I advanced up the ranks. Your guidance during challenging times has been invaluable, and your continued insight will be missed. Our relationship deepened when I began participating in waterways running. You frequently served as a judge and consistently offered guidance from the sidelines on ways to make up time or strategies to try, benefiting not only our team, but many others as well. Your encouragement was instrumental in motivating us to pursue an Auckland provincial victory as you had previously achieved. I know you were proud. When we secured the national championship earlier this year, you carefully observed every run, tracking times and positions with your stopwatch. Your reminders to stay calm and enjoy ourselves provided much needed perspective. That trip was filled with so much laughter and memorable moments that I will always remember.
It's hard to find the right words when someone so deeply loved, so deeply respected, is no longer with us. My dad wasn't just our father, he was a legend. I was proud of him every single day, proud of the man he was, proud of the values he lived by, proud of how he loved his family, and incredibly proud of the work he did as a firefighter. He gave everything he had to us, his family, and to his community. He never asked for recognition, he never asked for anything in return. He just gave, selflessly, quietly, bravely. He stood for strength, for integrity, for compassion, and he lived those values every single day. He wasn't the kind of man who needed to say, "I love you," all the time, because you felt it in everything he did. Whether it was through his guidance or direction shared with anyone who was willing to learn from his vast knowledge, he always had the time for anybody, always staying calm and steady and getting the job done. That presence, that quiet, steady love is what I'll miss the most. Losing him leaves a hole in our hearts that words can't describe. It's a hole that I know will carry for the rest of our lives. But I also also know that everything he stood for, his kindness, courage, generosity, determination, dedication, work ethic, and his love for people will live on in us, in the way we treat each other, in the way we show up for those who need us. And in the way we love. Dad, thank you for everything, for every sacrifice, for every lesson, for every moment. You will always be with us, in our memories, our stories, and in the people we strive to become because of you. Our girls, Sadie, Heidi and Bonnie, will miss you dearly. They had become close with their granddad, who always had time to read them stories and popped in most weekends for a visit. They also loved coming to the station to have a drink with Granddad. Dad's love for his brother, Spider, was unbreakable and unrivaled. A bond so tight. They were best friends, workmates, and blood. Please don't worry, Dad. We will take good care of Spider for you. We love you, we miss you, and we will never forget you. And this comes from James. I've only known Gracie for 12 years, and in that time I have achieved 4 of the greatest things in my life. I met and married one of his daughters, had 3 of his grandchildren, served 11 years in the fire brigade with him by my side and trained with him every Wednesday night. And lastly, in 2018, I represented my brigade and country competing in a road crash rescue team with Gracie at the World Rescue Challenge competition in Cape Town, South Africa. We love you, Dad.
Dad enjoyed getting away from work. I have fond memories of summer holidays. As a child, I remember summer holiday trips and various holdings. Initially to Te Peru with Gran and Grandad. We would fish from Grandad's boat or play on the beach. Eventually, this beach house was sold by the Woods and we needed a new place to holiday. So in the later years, that's where Whitianga came in. It was on these long road trips to Whitianga in the Holden that the stereo would get a workout. Dad played his greatest hits from ELO, Phil Collins, Beach Boys and many others. Maybe this is where I got my eclectic taste of music from. Staying with Spider at first, but later with family friends the Hales, who bought a place in Centennial Drive. During these holidays, I remember Dad displaying his excellent water skiing skills and us kids trying hard to emulate them. Many happy holidays spent here in Whitianga. As Dad was part of the brigade, I was part of the brigade from a young age, and it made joining easy. However, it took me a bit longer to get into the hose running. But with encouragement from Dad and the 18, I started running in the Waterways comp team 2 years ago. And like Dave, I have always appreciated Dad being on track with us. For the pre-start pep talk, reminders about technique, and warnings, friendly warnings about my proximity to penalties. Dad was a practical man who didn't like to pay someone else to do something he could do himself. Over my lifetime, I can recall many projects he completed. He hand dug a swimming pool for us as children. He built a retaining wall to stop said swimming pool falling down the bank. Built a garage and even repaired a gate after a learner driver pushed the accelerator pedal instead of the brake. When all his home projects were done, he filled his calendar with working bees, fundraising and the occasional socialising activity. Love you, Dad.
Dad, you were always there when I needed you. The calm on the end of the line, the helpful advice, or not so helpful, just last week telling me, slow down, it's not a race. We've heard so many amazing things today about you, Dad. I've had the privilege of spending 43 and 363 days knowing just how special you are. You've not just given us our family, but an entire fire family in whānau. Over the recent years, we've spent countless long weekends together. We all know the routine. Drive up, straight to the fire station for a Friday night drink. First things first. Saturday morning, the barbecue was on for breakfast, and you put on an extra sausage for the dogs. When we sat down to eat, you would always say, got to set me up for the day, because you never know what's around the corner. Sometimes just on cue, the siren and pager would go on, just to prove your point, and your willingness to help others always shone through. Over breakfast, our plan would be devised for the compulsory tiki tour. You were the best tour guide ever. I now know everything about this town. Endless conversations or comfortable silence, sitting on your deck. Music blasting, watching the world go by and admiring your beloved view. And always an ice cream or three. I loved our Friday phone calls, always mid-afternoon because we're the clever ones who don't work Fridays. You always started with a weather update, both for here and down in Vegas. This led on to work chat, where I got the full update on how work had been that week for you and how we both thought we were way smarter than our own bosses. A debrief of the weekend's rugby and obviously about how shit the ref had been. I mean, how did he not see that? You always updated me on the social events you had been to that week and the upcoming weekend's ones. And more recently, me trying to support you with your computer issues over the phone, which were obviously always the computer's fault. I could go on and on about all the ways you have inspired me, Dad. Most of all, the work ethic. Never wanting to let the boys down, all the boys, or the team. But I'll end with, we will always treasure the laughs, love, road rage, and our last Friday night drink. Love you, Dad.
Thank you, Sarah, Richard, Rebecca and David. I think out of all of this today, Gracie, you're a bloody legend. Thank you to all of those who have spoken. And it's very obvious that Gracie meant a lot to many. His smile said it all. He was a great man and he will be deeply, deeply missed. We will now take a moment to reflect on Gracie's life through photos set to some favourite tunes of his. We'll just have a moment to start that.
when you're gone. Oh Lord, wish I could hide. Hold on, give yourself a chance. I can hear the leaving train. All the boys, good
Excuse me, thank you. What wonderful photos. I can hear a few laughs from the kids. And I bet you from others that has evoked a few memories for a lot of us here today. The service is now drawing to a close, and Grassy's family have asked me to read the following poem. It's called Let Me Go, End of the Road, by Christine Rossetti. When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not for long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love we have once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It is all part of the master plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friends we know. Laugh at the little things we used to do, but miss me and let me go. Shortly, Grassy will be carried out and placed in front of the old fire truck out the front, and you'll have your chances to say your goodbyes to him before he is lifted onto the top of the truck and he is taken on his last tiki tour around Coromandel with his family following. Sorry, around Whitianga with his family following. My apologies. This should take approximately 20 minutes, they're thinking. The fire siren will sound as they leave the station, and as the truck is coming down the main road, just roundabout by the New World roundabout, the fire siren will sound again. And the family have asked if you would like to all make your way up to the main road, and then you can say your farewells as Grassy leaves us for one last time as he goes past the station. You are invited to stay for refreshments and to catch up with the family and friends, and a chance to share your stories and memories you have of Grassy, because I know that there will be a lot. And please take a moment to sign in the Book of Remembrance if you haven't done so already. Thank you for being here today to honour a life so well lived. Rest easy now, Grassy. Red watch have got you. Your shift is done, your watch complete. Your brigade will carry it from here. Could I also ask the fire service to stand in guard of honour while this is proceeding?
Turn the fireman.
The kids are awake. The kids are bombing.
Yeah.
Benny boy, off his knee. Who's been? Who's been?
Before Grassy leaves, we just have the fireman's prayer, and Darcy and Corbin are going to read this.
When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save a life, whatever be its age.
Help me to embrace a little child before it's too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate.
Enable me to be alert to hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out.
I want to feel my calling and to give the best in me, to guard my neighbour and protect his property.
And if, according to your will, I have to lose my life, bless with your protecting hand my loving family from strife.
So, what you're going to do now is basically put your hand on. Okay, I'm saying lift, or call it, or thank you, or all the others there. No, whatever's the trolley up. I asked you to have someone to take it outside. You know from the deal. No, you go nowhere. You lift it, turning and go.
Do you want me to take the trolley that way? When you lift?
Yeah. You're coming this way.
Grassy Mangin, happy with your gear. Hup! All right, walk guys. Left.
Excuse me, lads.
Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the birth of each night, and the fear of
No,